जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare जय राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधे जय जगन्नाथ बलदेवा सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शना जय गौरांग निताय गौरांग निताय गौरांग निताय जय गौरांग निताय जय बालाजी भगवान बालाजी भगवान बालाजी भगवान जय बालाजी भगवान जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 श्रील प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरस डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारिंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरस डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। मथुरा धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। द्वारकापुरी धाम की जय। गंगा मैया की जय। यमुना मैया की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। पतित पावन निदाम संकीर्तन की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam पंगुं लंगायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणां। हरे कृष्णा। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम, कैंटो 6, चैप्टर 1, टेक्स्ट नंबर्स 32 and 33. उचुर्निषेधितस्तांस्ते वैवास्वत पुरासरः के यूयं प्रतिषेधारो धर्मराजस्य शासनम्। उचुर्निषेधितस्तांस्ते वैवास्वत पुरासरः के यूयं प्रतिषेधारो धर्मराजस्य शासनम्। उचुर्निषेधितस्तांस्ते वैवास्वत पुरासरः के यूयं प्रतिषेधारो धर्मराजस्य शासनम्। पुरासरः धर्मराजस्य शासनम्। उचुर्निषेधितस्तांस्ते वैवास्वत पुरासरः के यूयं प्रतिषेधारो धर्मराजस्य शासनम्। उचुर्निषेधितस्तांस्ते वैवास्वत पुरासरः के यूयं प्रतिषेधारो धर्मराजस्य शासनम्। वैष्णवीस तांस्ते वैवास्वत पुरासरः के यूयं प्रतिषेधारो धर्मराजस्य शासनम्। Word by word translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Uchu replied, Nisheditaha, being forbidden, Tan, to the order carriers of Lord Vishnu. Te, they, Vaivasvata of Yamraj, Purasarah, the assistants or messengers, Ke, who, Yuyam, all of you, Pratishedharah, who are opposing, Dharmarajasya, of the king of religious principles, Yamraj, Shashanam, the ruling jurisdiction. Translation. When the order carriers of Yamraj, the son of sun god, were thus forbidden, they replied, Who are you, sirs, that have the audacity to challenge the jurisdiction of Yamraj? Purport. According to the sinful activities of Ajamil, he was within the jurisdiction of Yamraj, the supreme judge appointed to consider the sins of the living entities. When forbidden to touch Ajamil, the order carriers of Yamraj were surprised because they had never been hindered in the execution of their duty by anyone within the three worlds. Text number 33. Kasyava kuta ayatah kasmad asya nishedata kim deva upadevaya yuyam kim siddha sattamah. Word by word translation and purport by His Divine Grace S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Kasya, whose servants, va, or, kutah, from where, ayatah, have you come, kasmat, what is the reason, asya, the taking away of this ajamil, nishedata, are you forbidding, kim, whether, devaha, demigods, upadevaha, sub-demigods, ya, who, yuyam, all of you, kim, whether, siddha sattamaha, the best of the perfect beings, the pure devotees. Dear sirs, whose servants are you? Where have you come from? And why are you forbidding us to touch the body of Ajamil? Are you demigods from the heavenly planets? Are you sub-demigods? Or are you the best of the devotees? Purport. The most significant word used in this verse is Siddha Sattamaha, which means the best of the perfect. In Bhagavad Gita 7.3, it is said, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Out of millions of persons, one may try to become siddha, perfect. Or in other words, self-realized. A self-realized person knows that he is not the body, but a spiritual soul, aham brahmasmi. At the present moment, practically everyone is unaware of this fact, but one who understands this has attained perfection and is therefore called Siddha. When one understands that the soul is part and parcel of the Supreme Soul, and one thus engages in the devotional service of the Supreme Soul, one becomes Siddha Sattama. One is then eligible to live in the Vaikuntha planets or Krishna Lok. The word Siddha Sattama, therefore, refers to a liberated pure devotee. Since the Yamdutas are servants of Yamaraj, who is also one of the Siddha Sattamas, they knew that a Siddha Sattama is above the demigods and sub-demigods, and indeed above all the living entities within this material world. The Yamadutas therefore inquired why the Vishnudutas were present where a sinful man was going to die. It should also be noted that Ajamil was not yet dead, for the Yamadutas were trying to snatch the soul from his heart. They could not take the soul, however, and therefore Ajamila was not yet dead. This will be revealed in later verses. Ajamil was simply in an unconscious state when the argument was in progress between the Yamadutas and the Vishnudutas. The conclusion of the argument was to be a decision regarding who would claim the soul of Ajamil. Hare Krishna. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsya Namavom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Sri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhasya कृपा सिंधु भयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। When the order carriers of Yamraj, the son of Sun God, were thus forbidden, they replied, "Who are you, sirs, that have the audacity to challenge the jurisdiction of Yamraj? Dear sirs, whose servants are you? Where have you come from? And why are you forbidding us to touch the body of Ajamil? Are you demigods from the heavenly planets? Are you sub-demigods? Or are you the best of devotees?" Hare Krishna. I am grateful to all of you for engaging me in your service, and I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis assembled here so that I can repeat some of the words of Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas. We see here that the Yamadutas, we see Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki jai, Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Yamadutas have come to snatch away the soul of Ajamil, but they come across an unexpected obstacle. The Vishnudutas are forbidding them, and they are surprised. Here, in this shloka, the Yamadutas are referred to as Vaivashvata Puraksharaha, and Yamraj is referred to as Vaivashvata, son of Vivaswan, the sun god. And Prabhupada in the purport mentions that Yamraj is a Mahajan, and his messengers, Yamadutas, they also knew that he is Siddha Sattama. That realization they had because Yamaraj was very kind to them. Yamaraj was encouraging them, and he was instructing them and guiding them very properly. That realization they had, that our master, whom they consider the supreme authority, is a perfect devotee. But they had half realization. They did not know the importance of the holy name of the Lord. That the Lord and his holy name is non-different. Nama Chintamani Krishnas Chaitanya Rasavigraha Nitya Mukto Purna Shuddho Abhinnatvam Nama Namini. So with half realization, which Prabhupada says, realization comes from the mercy of Krishna. Our endeavors, we try to seek realization, we endeavor through bhajana kriya, our sadhana, sadhu sang. But ultimately, the mercy of the Lord coming through Guru Parampara, that we can have realizations. Self-realization, Paramatma realization, and Bhagwan realization. So Yamadutas were realized, but realization was of the lower level, maybe Brahman realization, because they were being trained by Yamraj. So when they came across these beautiful, handsome, four-handed Vishnudutas, they were bewildered. They didn't know how to deal with the situation. But this is the first time they are coming across this situation. And Prabhupada says, what was the mood of these Yamadutas? They considered themselves as authorities, like police officers, with a warrant Warrant, when a police officer comes with a warrant, he is very confident. He is under control. He knows whom to catch. He also, language is very authoritative. He commands. And that was the mood of the Yamadutas. But now you see the shoes on the other feet. Here, Vishnudutas are commanding. Stop! Don't take him! And they are a little puzzled and bewildered. What is this? Unexpected. How come? We also, in our sadhakas, in our life, many times come across these situations. Sometimes we are provoked. Sometimes we are forbidden. And then, what is our reaction? Our reaction depends to the extent that we are realized or not realized. If you are not totally realized, you become angry. You shout, how dare you stop me? I am the controller. I am the authority. And don't interfere in my affairs. This sort of a reaction is there when you are not totally realized, when on your bodily platform. But we see here the reaction of Yamadutas. The reaction is subdued. They are very polite, but they want to know. They are inquisitive. Who are you? They don't shout. They are not angry. They are surprised. So, to the extent one is realized, to the extent, his response will be calm and mature. So, the first lesson we see or we get from this particular shloka. And that's why they are addressed as Vaivashvata Purasaraha. They are connected to Yamraj, and that's why they are having some qualities. So connection to Guru Parampara is very, very important. Our behavior when we go outside, how do we behave outside? Because we are part of ISKCON community. So that plays a very important role. Then the second very, very important message or Prabhupada is giving us here is Dharma Rajasya Shashanam. There is a control. And Prabhupada says here that in the translation, there is a jurisdiction of Yamaraj. Yamadutas thought that this is a jurisdiction of Yamaraj. He is overall in charge. But we know, we have been told, and Yamaraj also knew that he is not overall in charge. Dharmastu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. So here, dharma, even though refers to Yamaraj, but ultimately dharma is the word of Lord Krishna. His laws, whatever he says, is supposed to be the instruction for all of us. And Yamaraj knew that perfectly. And how the laws of nature organized, arranged. They are arranged for the well-being of the human entities, ultimate welfare. So that the living entity who is ignorant gets some knowledge and goes back to the spiritual world by making inquiries, athato brahma jigyasa. But if you are ignorant, like Ajamil had basically cultural background. He was a son of Brahmana. But Maya Aprita Jnana. His knowledge was covered because of the lust and the desire and the sense gratification that he would like to have with prostitute. And that's why he became a cheater, liar, thief, etc., etc. So degradation is very easy. Maya can help you to degrade pretty soon. But to come to a higher level of realization, it requires tremendous efforts and concentration. So that's why the Yamadutas thought that Ajamil is sinful. He has committed so many crimes and sins. He deserves to be punished. But they did not understand or realize that he was very lovingly calling the name of his son Narayan, Narayan, Narayan at each and every time, while eating, while talking, while walking, Narayan, Narayan. He was so fond of his son. And that is Krishna's arrangement. Agyat Sukruti. Krishna wants to tell us the importance of the holy name. Namabhas. Even Namabhas can liberate you. So, these laws of Krishna are in our own interest. So, we should know what are these laws. Prabhupada tells following 4 regulative principles, following the instructions of scriptures are basically the laws. And one has to follow them. We follow the laws of government because we are scared. There's a punishment, which is obvious. If you break the government's law, if you cross the red signal, police will catch you. Police will fine you. So we are careful. But a cat or a dog, they can cross over. They will not be punished. Similarly, while understanding the laws of nature, we also should have that human logic, not the animal logic. And most of us have animal logic while trying to understand laws of nature. Oh, they are not applicable to me. I can do anything I want, like cat and dog. I can cross over the red light. I'll not be affected. Because the laws, the end result and the punishment may not be obvious immediately. It requires deep intelligence and thought process to understand that, and a faith that yes, I'll be punished sometime or the later. I may escape the laws of government, but I cannot escape the laws of nature, laws of God. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. And that also gives us a sense of feeling that yes, we have to depend, cooperate with the authorities. The final authority is Lord Krishna. But he has given us minute independence. And while dealing with the laws of nature, we exert that independence to the largest extent. Oh, it's not for me. The law is not applicable. I speculate. I say, I don't believe in that. Whether you believe or not, the law will be there and will be punished. So, dharmasya rajasya shashanam. Shashanam is a ruling. Shastra, shas dhatu. The word is coming from that. And very, very important. So a realized person or Siddha Sattama, Prabhupada will explain in detail in the second purport. He knows all these aspects. So our goal also in life, our sadhaka's life, to gradually come from a lower level to a higher and higher level, and ultimately, with the mercy of the Lord, have full realization and attain the stage of Siddha Sat Uttama. Then, again, twice, they have been prohibited. And their reaction is, we know, controlled reaction. And after this, they are asking questions. Second shloka. Where are you from? And Prabhupada here talks about the importance of being Siddha Sattama. And Prabhupada elaborately explains the importance of being Siddha Sattama. is the highest level, and Prabhupada tells us this is a highly realized soul, pure, highly realized, loves Krishna and has the willingness to serve Krishna at any cost. His priority is to serve Krishna always, or the Vaishnavas. And Prabhupada is telling us that he is eligible to live in Vaikuntha or Krishna Lok. And what does he do there? He just serves. Service is very, very important. And Prabhupada quotes Bhagavad Gita Shlok 7.3. Manushanam sahasreshu kishit kashid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kashid mam vetti tattvata. That shloka tells the rarity of being Siddha Sattama. Out of thousands and thousands of Siddhas, or who are interested in trying to know transcendental knowledge, out of this one will be a yogi or Siddha. And out of such thousands and thousands, one will be able to understand Krishna. Sudurlabha, such the difficult aspect of being Satta Siddhama. Sattama. Siddha is okay. There's Brahman realization. Jnanis, impersonalist, even Brahmavadis, they have that knowledge of self-realization. I am not the body, I am the soul. That knowledge is there. But Prabhupada tells us further info, gives us further instructions. When such a living entity knows what is my duty, I am self-realized, I am a soul, but what is my connection to Krishna? Sambandha Gyan. I am his part and parcel, and my role is to serve the Lord with love and affection, without any expectation. So when he does that, he is Bhagwan realized. Sattama, devotee. Again, Prabhupada tells us that Siddha, there is in this material universe, there is a Siddha Loka. Siddha means perfect. The Siddha Loka, inhabitants of Siddha Loka are perfect. They don't want to do any efforts to get some additional skills. We here have to make efforts. They can fly. They can have siddhis right from the birth. So perfect. But for us, we have to make a lot of endeavors to come to that level. And to make the efforts, what is required? Association and guidance. And the knowledge and the understanding that this knowledge has to be applied in our day-to-day life. So, Siddha Sattama. Yamraj is that, Sattama. There are 12 Mahajans. And Prabhupada again encourages us when someone asks, a disciple asks Prabhupada, Bhagavatam talks about 12 Mahajans. And you are 13th Mahajan. So Prabhupada encouraged that disciple, yes, you can be the 14th Mahajan. So, Mahajan is a quality who anyone can attain it by endeavors and mercy. Full realization, complete realization. And that's what is very, very important. And now we come to the other aspect. Here we see Ajamil. Prabhupada tells us Ajamil is not dead as yet. His soul has not been taken away. These Yamadutas were about to snatch away the soul. So he is unconscious, but is aware of what is happening around him. Near-death experience. So even though externally subconscious, his soul is conscious. He can hear the dialogue. And gradually in that stage, now his repentance or atonement activity has started. And that's what is very, very, very important. He has realized all his mistakes. As soon as he saw these 4 beautiful Vishnudutas coming, he was wonderstruck. He could sense, not fully realize, but sense the oh, I've been chanting Narayan lovingly, helplessly. And the Lord is so merciful that He has sent His messengers to help me. And that was the beginning of his heart transformation. The beginning of heart transformation has to take place. Everything has a beginning. And gradually the process goes further through sadhana, and then it attains its ultimate, pure, ultimate Bhagavad realization or Bhagwan realization. So here we see the beginning of Ajamil, his changeover, heart transformation taking place. And for all of us also, it's very, very important that our heart starts transforming. Spiritually, when we come into bhakti, our hearts may be hard-hearted because we are envious, we are illusioned, we are egoistic, and all these qualities make our heart hard-hearted. But when we realize, when we understand the purpose of Srila Prabhupada, when we study the purpose of Srila Prabhupada, we see the qualities of a Vaishnava, which are at this stage very difficult to attain. But we know what is our aim. Heart transformation. And heart transformation will take place only when anarthas are removed. Anartha nivrutti. Adav shraddha, tatha sadhu sangha, tatha bhajana kriya. So that's what is very, very important. And we have that encouragement. The example of Ajamil, such a rascal, as Prabhupada would say, such a thief, totally engrossed in sense gratification. But he also had a scope for heart transformation. Isn't that very, very encouraging for us? A person like Ajamil, unknowingly calling the name of Narayan. And that should encourage us to have more and more faith in holy name of the Lord. Aparadh stage, Namabhas and Shuddhane. Aparadh, we commit aparadhs because of our anarthas. We have not realized the importance of Vaishnavas. Maybe some of us have understood, but who has just come into bhakti, kanishta level, he may not have understood the importance of not committing aparadhs. So even though his chanting will be on the aparadh stage. Here, Ajamil had no expectations. He had no motivations. He was out of pure love. He was calling the name for his son. And he was helpless at the end. So helplessly and with pure love, when you even chant unknowingly on a Namabha stage, what is the effect that's shown here? And that's what is very, very important for us. So this story of Ajamil should be an eye-opener for all of us. How even though you may be fallen to a highest level, still there is scope. Still there is scope for heart transformation. And that's what Prabhupada is, in the last para, tells us that he was not dead, but he was conscious. He was hearing the dialogue. So, asking questions, that's what Yamadutas are asking, in a nice way. And that's what Shastras also tell us, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Make inquiries. We don't know many things, but how to make inquiries? Arrogantly? Harshly? No, submissively. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Upadakshantite jnanam jnana tattvadarshana. So here Yamadutas are also, by their own example, how to be polite, how to ask, make inquiries. They wanted to know. They are impressed. They have seen these beautiful Vishnudutas. So who are they? Where are they coming from? This inquiry is quite but natural. Similarly, soul has to ask these inquiries. It is natural for the soul. But as we discussed, he is now ignorant, as Ajamil was. He is covered by ignorance. So to remove that ignorance is the process of sadhana. This is a process of association. It is a process of shravanam. And when we hear Prabhupada's purports, hear them from the authorities, realize souls, to that extent we can also benefit, and we also come and gradually try to attain a higher and higher level and ultimately Siddha Sattama stage. That should be our ultimate aim in life. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. 8:50, huh? 8:55. So, yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna. So any comments, any questions? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. There's a question? Yeah. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much for the very beautiful class. And you made some very important points. One point you made in the beginning of the class is that based on one's realization, there is behavior. So, two questions. First question is, though you did mention it, but a little bit elaboration on how can we get that realization in Krishna consciousness. And before we get that realization, how can we make our behavior appropriate in accordance to the Shastras? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. My stage is like that Yamduta. I'm bewildered because Vishnu Duta is asking me a question. Thank you very much. Whatever limited realization that I have, I'll try to satisfy you. Thank you very much. Prabhuji, my understanding, you got two questions. How you get realization, and when you do not have realization, what should be your behavior? Right? So first I'll address the second question. We have no realization. When we come into bhakti, we are full of anarthas. But when we associate, we hear the realizations of authorities. We hear the classes. We see wonderful realized Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. We observe. We hear. So when we hear and observe, we assimilate knowledge. We may not have developed these qualities, but then we should have the desire that yes, I should have those qualities, I should behave like them. So if one has desire, so the first important aspect of a sadhaka is to have that desire, to have those qualities first. And if he has the desire, Krishna and the Acharyas and Guru Parampara will reciprocate. Because a desire makes us put our endeavors. And when we endeavor with sincerity, seriousness, and non-duplicity, transparently, Krishna will reciprocate. But the desire should be there. And that desire is very, very difficult initially because we are covered by anarthas. We have that feeling that I know everything, I am knowledgeable. Who is he to tell me? We have faith, that is why we have come. And that faith has to be increased through that desire. So once you know that, then we see the other devotees behaving in a nice way. This is discussed also in our scriptures. Sadachar. So once that sadachar is there, and as you advance more and more, as we mentioned just now, that realization, your efforts, but ultimately the mercy of Krishna coming through the acharyas and Guru Parampara, that will give you the ultimate realization. So realization in a way is nothing but buddhi yoga. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam enamam upayantite. So if you try to be sincere, surrendered soul, Krishna will definitely give you that realization. And what is that ultimate realization? I am part and parcel. I am not the body. I have to serve Krishna. Along with serving Krishna, I have to serve and please first Guru and other Vaishnavas. Then only I will be able to please Krishna. And then what realization means, I have to practice what I have learned. Gyan is a theory, but practicing that knowledge and on your day-to-day application, trying to please, doing your best, that is what is realization. When you apply it in your day-to-day life, to the highest level, completely surrendered. That's what my limited understanding is, Prabhu. So you can please correct me if I have.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. With your blessings, I'll try to apply. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for encouraging me, Prabhu. Yes. But Prabhuji, is it correct? Now you are a Shastra teacher. So you are Bhakti Vaibhav teacher. And so am I right, or I'm just talking something vaguely? You have to correct me also.
Actually, my realization is very limited, so I cannot comment on what you said.
Thank you.
But as per what I've heard, definitely what you've said is perfect.
Thank you very much for inspiring me. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question. Like within devotees, we see that we hear our gurus, we hear scriptures. So there may be expectations from the other person that he should also behave at a standard level, while the other person may be conditioned, since the beginning of the life. He may have become a devotee after 30, 40 years. And the expectation of the other person is that, okay, he will behave ideally. So there is a conflict, there is a difference in expectations. So yeah, that's my question. And immediately one person cannot behave like a Vaishnava, and when the situations are difficult, it may be, someone gets angry or someone gets frustrated. So how to understand this situation and how to behave in that situation?
I'll make myself clear. You said that there are expectations from others about you. And when you do not fulfill those expectations, you may be frustrated. Am I right?
Both persons will be frustrated. The one who is seeking the expectation.
Okay. Now let's talk about me, about whom others have got expectations. Okay? Like in this material world, everyone has got expectations about others. The parents have expectations from their sons and daughters. Right? Bhakti also is reciprocal. Even though ultimately we are told that one should not expect. Ahituki apratyata. But in sadhana stage, we have expectations, right? But are you also do you have the desire to reciprocate? That desire to please some other Vaishnava, because he has expectations about me. So I want to please him. So do we have that desire first? Does one person has that desire? Do I have the desire to please someone? Provided expectation is proper, bona fide. So if I have the desire to please, I will take efforts to come to his expectations. I will try. I don't know whether I'll be able, but I will try. I will put in my endeavors to change myself. I will know what are the expectations of that particular person or devotee. And if I have tremendous limitations, I will also open up with the devotee and I'll tell him, Prabhu, I've been trying sincerely, but you have been very, very high expectations about me. So please tell me and guide me how to come to the expectations. Bhakti is positive. There is no reason for frustration. There's no reason for distress. As long as one tries the best of his ability, Paramatma and Krishna knows. Guru also understands. So from one's point of view, yes, if I have a desire, but this Vaishnava is very wonderful, very great, I would like to please him by fulfilling his expectations towards me. Am I clear? You got the point? Yes. So this is the first aspect. The second aspect is, yes, you may not be able to fulfill those expectations, or the other person, the Vaishnava may be disappointed. Vaishnava will never be disappointed. He will encourage you. He will guide you because he is your ever well-wisher. So the basic point lies with us. How much efforts we are willing to take to reciprocate with someone else's expectations. So it is me who has to, and I have to be positive and put in the efforts. Is it clear?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
May I know your name?
I'm Gaur Keshav Das.
Gaur Kishore Prabhu.
Yes, sir.
Gaur Kishore. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we'll stop it. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for wonderful class. I have a question, Prabhuji. Recently we hearing the Dhruv Maharaj pastime. So in that Dhruv Maharaj go to the jungle and then Narad Muni come there. And because Dhruv Maharaj is very angry from his father Uttanapad and Suruchi, then Narad Muni asking many questions from him that you are the small child, why you want to come and doing all this thing, better you can go. So later Prabhupada write there that this is the test for the Dhruv Maharaj, and due to this test, if he passed in this test, then he can move forward. Now here we find out the situation. Yamdutas is doing his duties according to the Yamraj, whatever he told, and he is very perfectly doing his duties. And suddenly Vishnu Dutas are coming. They don't know who is Vishnu Dutas and what, but they respect him and they greet him also. But later we find out that Vishnu Duta is stopping from his duties. They told that no, we are more powerful and you cannot do your duty. And due to that, they have to be run away from that place also, not completing his duty. So my question is that how to know that whatever currently we are doing, that is the effect of Maya or that is the test of Krishna.
May I know your name?
Anil.
Anil. Anil Prabhu. First, Vishnu Dutas corrected Yamadutas. Yamadutas were doing something wrong. They were about to snatch a soul who did not deserve the punishment there. So Vishnudas came to correct, and Yamadutas did not run away. They realized. At that stage, they were a bit offended. But then Yamaraj cleared their doubts. So in their hearts, they must have been very thankful to Vishnudutas for correcting them and saving them from committing a sin or an offense. You get my point? So Yamadutas were making a mistake because they had no complete full knowledge. While Vishnudutas knew, they had full knowledge. So the first point. What is the second point?
So for example, if the same situation coming in my life.
Same situation. Now, that's why Prabhupada has given us wonderful procedure. We have higher authorities, we have guidance. So in case of doubt, we can always approach our authorities. Tadbuddhi pranipatena. We don't have all the information. We are not knowledgeable to that extent. So we should ask. We should clarify. Approach your suitable from whom you get inspiration. Go to any of your authorities. Ask him these questions. And regarding the test, etc., we should be very, very clear in our minds that Krishna is very, very merciful. Krishna is our Surat, is our best well-wisher. He will not give us any test where we will fail. Krishna gave a test to Dhruva Maharaj because Krishna was absolutely confident. Narad Muni was also equally confident that Dhruva Maharaj will pass the test. And he passed. Right? So let's be also have full faith in our gurus, in our acharyas and Krishna that they will give us a test which will make us comfortable, but will also pass the test. It's a driving force. Otherwise, we may be lethargic. So that, Krishna will be testing us, Guru may be testing us. That makes us be alert, more alert. But subconsciously, we should know that, yes, Krishna is very merciful. He will do the needful. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaved Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Hare Krishna.